So today I'm gonna look at some web-based emulators. So we've talked about emulators in the past that have, been downloaded onto your computer, onto an Android device, onto a Mac device, etc. But today we're gonna take a look at some web-based emulators. I'm gonna review some of these web-based emulators so you don't have to download anything on your device, right? The Super Nintendo emulator is that, right? It is all Super Nintendo games, whereas the EmuBrowser has Nintendo, PlayStation, Sega, Atari, DDS, Retro Roulette. I bought a controller that is a USB plug and play, and all that means is like you plug it in via USB port. This is what my controller looks like, but this is the most important part. It has an USB, so literally you can plug this into your computer and play some of your most favorite games without using a keyboard. I don't know. I'm gonna plug this in. All right, so the first one we're gonna check out is called SuperNintendoEmulator.com by Super Famicom Emulator. Let's start simple. Let's start simple and do a quick driving like Super Mario Kart. Okay, clicked in the game. Pog. So I should be able to, it says push B. I should be able to push B from my remote. That's what it says. It says push B. Hold on, my computer's not even finding my controllers. Nice, there it is, there it is. Okay, so we see it? Right here. So if it didn't pop up automatically, I guess I would just go into my settings and then I would check out my Bluetooth and other devices. And that's how I would go find my controller to set it up. Nothing's happening. Like I'm pressing my gamepad, right? I'm pressing my controller, but nothing is being programmed. I don't know why. Like it's saying X is a key. I don't have an X. If the keys won't be programmed into the controller, then I think you'll have to use a keyboard to play. I programmed this same remote using the Dolphin emulator. I mean, let's just play around using the keyboard then. How about that? Let's play using the keyboard. We'll see how this goes. I don't even know what I'm doing, man. No. No. You can't lose the mushroom cup, man. Okay. All right. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Serious? Second place. Generally speaking, though, it's a cool game. It's a cool emulator, and it offers a lot of access, right? I really like the Super Nintendo Emulator.com website as far as an emulator that's accessible through a web app, just because, a lot of people don't have access to these games. So it's just really cool that, we have access to some of the games, even if you have to play them on keyboard. There seems to be a controller setup. I just can't figure it out at this time. Regardless of it, having the controller working or the keyboard working as your controller, it does seem like a really cool site. So I'll definitely be using this in the future. And there's a lot of people that are using it now. Let's check out the second one just to kind of see what it's about. The last website we looked at was only and exclusively Super Nintendo emulation. The second one, EmuBrowser, it has a ton of options. Nintendo, PlayStation, Sega, Atari, you name it. So this is what it looks like. I've never used it. We'll see. Play all your favorite classic retro video games in the browser right here. Plug a USB controller into your computer and simply use your keyboard for hundreds of classic games. Just like the last website we looked at, this website also says if you have a controller, you can plug and play. So I have a controller that is plugged in. I'm wondering if it'll let me play on this. So let's take a look. Again, has tons of options. You can click around all of these places up here. There's PlayStation, sounds kind of fun. I wonder how they can fit those big games on a web browser. All right, dude, Super Smash Bros. Okay, so we know the crossover fighting game. Everyone loves and adores this franchise. So ideally, right, we should be able just to start the game. Okay, look at that. Maybe the native N64 to N64 might be a little bit more compatible because it's Nintendo. Let's see. It's working. It's working. You guys, it's working. It's working. Okay, let's test the mechanics now. It looks like it's working, right? What? What? It's not jumping. Can't really play if it doesn't jump. Is that why? Is it these guys that need to be programmed? Left? Oh, didn't mean to do that. Well, there is no C-pad option, so... Okay, I fixed it. Oh my god, it's down. down to jump. That's weird, dude. I don't know about that. Well, then how do you... Okay. I mean, it's just kind of like discovering new controls. Why don't we do more of like a driving game? You know what I mean? Like something that kind of has that different mechanics in it. Just do some tracks. See, right now it's working well. Like it's definitely moving around and stuff. Oh yeah, baby, I still got. It's been a long time, dude. That's 2 emulators that we checked out, right? So we have the web browser applications of both Super Nintendo emulator.com and emubrowser.com. EmuBrowser seemed to be a little bit more native and friendly. EmuBrowser definitely was more friendly for my controller, whereas the Super Nintendo emulator was not friendly for my controller. So far, we've checked out Super Nintendo, we've checked out Nintendo 64, but what would it be like if we played something a little bit more updated, like a PlayStation game? Would the graphics be as good? Would my controller still work? I don't know. Let's find out. So let's play Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back. This is one of my favorite games from when I was a kid. And if my controller and everything would work on this, look how big this game is compared to the others. This game is massive. It found my controller. You see that? We pull up our advanced settings just to make sure. See, nothing is said here. This is exactly why we have to set up our controller, right? Right now, my controller's so messed up, dude. Okay. So what is using what? Up, down, left, right. Gotta remember it's PlayStation. Dude, the D-pad still controls it. That's hilarious. Look at the pixels. Those 2 web-based emulators are really good. And if you don't have access to an older generation, console, this is definitely gonna be nostalgic and fun. Besides the actual remote being an issue, I think it's just programming on my end probably, and really programming those buttons to match up with the needs of the game. So I'm thinking that if I got more of a universal controller, it might be better in the long run. EmuBrowser, it's going to get my pick. I would say it's an 8 out of 10. And then the Super Nintendo emulator, I would give it probably a 6 out of 10, just because it was a little bit harder to set up my remote and my control and all of that and figure it out. And it seemed like the EmuBrowser offered a few more substantial customizations for controls, graphics, overlays for, frame rates and all of that. So for a free web-based application, I don't think you could go wrong using these 2, especially because you can hook up your controller to it, and that's just fun. Anyway, you can't beat it for its free accessibility, so those 2 web-based applitions, 10 out of 10 recommend. Check them out.